What is going on, folks? I am Goat, and welcome back to Warframe tutorial part, what? 3. Part 3. Here we are at vehicles. And vehicles entail arc melees, arc guns, K-drives, Necramechs. And then the potential weapons that come with those. So this tab here, this is vehicles. Right? So as you can see by the stats... Show profile, thank you. Vehicles. So what you have are 5 K-drives. So you have the Bad Baby, the Fever Spine, which nobody knows about unless you go actually farm the parts for it through the fucking Cambion Drift K-drive races. That's how I found out it existed. But you get the Bad Baby, the Fever Spine, the Flat Belly, the Needle Nose, and the Runway. I'm going to tell you right now, they are literally the same fucking thing, they just look different. It's how you mod them. Personally, I hate K-drives. You get mods from the vent kits through the K-drives by using standing, and have a nice fucking day. Like, I honestly don't care about K-drives. Now, I know I did a separate video just for the Plexus, and it does count as a vehicle, obviously, but it's a pretty inclusive setup. Like, there is a lot of shit to go over, and even though I did it in like 10 minutes or so, the railjack... There's just so much inclusive shit in it, okay? But then you get the Bone Widow Necramech, which it has an exalted weapon of its own, or a 4th ability melee. And then you have the Void Rig, which uses the same primary weapon, which is the Mausolin. But you have the Archwings, which is its turret, right? So we're going to go over that. And then as far as Arcwing goes, which I think at this point, Arcwing is probably the most hated part of this game. As far as, next to the Conclave, as far as mission types and nodes, I think Arcwing is just like the one thing everybody could just do without, as far as them being missions. Arcwings are good for roaming around in railjack missions from jumping point to point, and they're good for free roam maps, but the missions themselves I think are just highly annoying from my gameplay. But the Arcwings that you have are the Amisha, the Elytron, the Itzal, the Odonata, and the Odonata Prime. Now, the Odonata is what you start with. The Itzal, the Elytron, and the Amisha, or the Amisha, or however the hell it's pronounced, are all available through your dojo. And then the Odonata Prime is a farmable one. What's the best one, right? What's the best one? Well, that's kind of a questionable one. I think the Odonata is just the okay one. I think the Itzal is a good crowd controller, plus it's great for Eidolon hunts because you don't have to sit there and collect all the loot when you capture an Eidolon. You just basically wait for the lure to blow up, and then you hit the 3rd ability, and boom, there's your shit. And then the Elytron is a good base star chart tank with offensive capabilities. But the Amisha, or the Amisha, is really the mean one. Holy balls. It's the mean one, because it's kind of like Nezha for Arcwings. Its first ability, Watchful Swarm. Tiny drones orbit the Warframe or an ally and intercept enemy fire. So they're basically little sacrificial drones to keep you from getting shot, or your companion or your ally getting shot. Benevolent Decoy. It creates a fucking decoy that basically everything goes to fire upon, and it doesn't do anything to what the hell you're trying to keep shit away from. Warding Grace. Renders the Warframe and nearby allies immune to status effects while slowing nearby enemies. It's kind of like a... Yeah, it's just cool. It's really just fucking cool. It's kind of like Warding Halo for Nezha. Yeah, it's pretty good. And then Vengeful Rush. All damage taken is transformed into energy while abilities gain enhanced range, duration, and power. Affects the Warframe and nearby allies. The Amisha, we'll just call it the Amisha. The Amisha is honestly, in my opinion, the best Warframe. Or the best Arcwing. It's just really fucking good. Just really good. Very hard to die with the Amisha. Now, as far as the weapons go, okay, like these are the weapons that I own. I own all but the base Grattler and the dual, the Curion, because I have the Prisma to Curions, and I have the Kuva Grattler, so I just sold the other ones, right? The Kuva Ayanga and the Kuva Grattler are both, well, I mean, here, let's just point and look. grenade launching arc gun. It's okay. Like, it's good situationally. The Kuva Grattler is a flat cannon, basically, for the lack of a better way to put it. It just throws explosive shells, so it's a flat cannon. The Cortege, it's a life-sapping flamethrower. Like, literally, it's a life-stealing flamethrower. This is really meant for Necramechs, not Arcwing. Okay, the Corvus, a true flat cannon. It's literally just a flat cannon. It's a very powerful flat cannon, but it's a flat cannon. The Cygnus, it's a burst fire or an automatic fire plasma rifle, for lack of a better way to put it. The Fluctus is it's a plasma bow. Okay, it's just a plasma bow, really. Okay, it's just a plasma bow. That's all it is. The Imperator. Now, people do like the Imperator or the Imperator Vandal. Okay, these are not bad. They're really not, but they're not the best in my opinion. The Larkspur is a little gimmicky, but it's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty fucking good. It does this weird spiraling, like, radiation type of damage. And it has an alt fire. Yeah, it's got a charge fire that just does this big fucking boom. Okay? Like, this is just what it does. The Mosselin. In my opinion, the Mosselin is literally hands down the best fucking arc weapon for Necramechs or for Arcwings. Just because it's got high ammo capacity, you can build it to just literally just destroy things. Okay? Like, if you look at this build, 60% crit chance with a 4 multiplier, 41.6 status chance, doing 1,542 points of damage, base. Okay? Doing impact and puncture, whatever. Heat, corrosive here. But the charge shot has 100% accuracy with 100% crit chance and a 6.3 multiplier with an 80% status, doing impact, just direct damage of 12,857, not taking into account the crit, with a radial attack of 38,572 with this build. And this is a single polarization, single matter eye polarization. Pretty fucking impressive, and you don't have to sit there and lead your targets or anything. It just fucking shoots and kills. And then you have the Phaedra, or I'm sorry, you have the Morga, which is basically, it's a double barrel shotgun for Necramechs. It's a weird one. I mean, again, it's a lifesteal weapon. It kind of is what it is. The Phaedra is just like the Soma. It's just the Soma of arc guns. The dual Decurions, as much as I would love to say
The system continues to fall into chaos. Check navigation for active invasions.
As much as I would love to say that I love the dual Decurions because I think they are fun, but they have such low ammo capacity. 32 rounds. Even if you put mag extension on these fucking things, they are junk. I just don't like them. And then the Velocitus. The Velocitus, I think, is literally one of the most underrated arc guns out there. It's a charge shot. You can do quick shot or you can do a full charge shot. The quick shot with this particular build is 8,127 points of magnetic and corrosive damage, doing impact, puncture, and slash. The charge shot, 120% crit chance with a 6.5 multiplier, doing 21,674.2 points of damage. This is a Jordis killer. Thank you, Dranka, for that one. The Velocitus, it is not a great gun, but holy Jesus Christ, is it situationally really good. Look at that. Tell me that's not ridiculous looking. I don't know why that's on there. So, K-drives. I mean, K-drives are K-drives are K-drives. They literally just do the same fucking thing. It's just in how you mod them. But where shit gets fun, in my opinion, where shit gets absolutely fun, is with your Necramechs. Now, I was running this particular build just as proof positive that you don't need a shit ton of mods to make a Necramech good. It's helpful, but you don't need them. This is a true base survivability build. Now, my normal build is this. And I am honestly probably going to do one more Forma just so I can up Necramech Augur. But yeah, this is in my opinion a good build. Good duration, good efficiency, good strength. Because the one thing that you absolutely want, if anything else, is good... Duration isn't key, especially with the Void Rig. What is key is flow, intensify, health, shields, repair, and streamline. Holy shit. Very much so. You want to be efficient because the energy is always on a premium with a Void Rig, but if you want a very good build, may not be amazing, but if you want a very good build, 5 polarization to get it to rank 40, boom, here's your build right here. It's very simple, very, very functional. Right? Mosselin build is the same. The Archwings, no polarizations, okay, first of all. It comes with a base matter eye polarization. I am going to polarize this. And the truth of it is the reason I'm going to polarize it is that I want this thing to absolutely destroy. So, like, critical focus is going to go on there. I thought about putting automatic trigger on there just to make it fire faster, but I don't really think there's a need. Because you don't need reload because it's energy based. You don't need modified munition. Well, I mean, you can put modified munitions on there for status chance, sorry. But you don't need reload. You don't need like a quick reload or shell rush because it's all ability, you know, all energy based. So you're just using energy. But yeah, man. I mean, like, you could do like... Let's see here. What do I have? Let's just come over here, Matter Eye, so I can see better. See, I've only got the 160-60. I don't even have all the fucking shit yet here. Okay, so like I could do that instead of that, drop the base damage down just a touch, and drop it down to that, right? But with it having a 100% crit chance, why would I want to do that? I don't need status if I'm nailing a 100% crit chance. Because even though it says I'm only doing 211 points of damage, the radial attack from this shit is destructive as fuck. 253,478.4 points of damage. And believe me when I tell you, if you do this build, even just without having the extra mod in here, this will not let you down. Nope. Now the Bone Widow. The Bone Widow is an interesting one, and I'm sure the build on the Bone Widow probably looks like asshole, because I haven't really messed with the Bone Widow. I like the Void Rig so much that I haven't messed with the Bone Widow very much. So like Necramech Fury, melee attack speed, that's really where I changed things up a little bit. I took Augur off, if I remember right. Yeah, I just took Augur off and put Necramech Fury on there and just bumped it one. But yeah, 5,760 points of health, 950 armor, 450 energy, 1,260 shields, 130% duration, efficiency, and strength. And then you've got melee stuffs here, right? Right. Simple. But yeah. So yeah, this build isn't as bad as I thought. I mean, could I sacrifice armor for more, for more melee? Yes. Yes, I could. Excuse me. I am yawning. I am sorry about that. You know, could I put stretch in here in lieu of something like Necramech Rebuke? Absolutely I could. 100% I could. Because ability range actually does come into play with Bone Widow because of her third ability. Very much so. Her third ability, Firing Line, basically creates, you know, sweeping beams in to bring everybody in front of you so you can either melee or shoot them. Yes, so I could do that. The Mosselin, same fucking build, same gun. The Iron Bride, this probably looks like ass. Not even gonna lie. This probably looks like total asshole. We got Infectious Injection, Meteor Crash, that's Impact. I have a slash one. Don't I have a slash one? Seriously? It's Puncture, Searing Steel, dun dun dun. Blade sudden impact, critical chance. See that critical chance, tempered blade, that's one that's probably going to go up in here, truth be told. because I want more crit. Who doesn't, right? Like, who doesn't? You know, Bleeding Edge needs to go on here rather than Extend, honestly. I don't even know why I have that on there, honestly. Yeah, I need to do a few polarizations to this. That's just the God's honest truth. I really do. But yeah, so like your focus is going to be into like Bleeding Edge, critical damage. Very much so. Yep. So like let's take Meteor Crash and Extend off. So now we have Bleeding Edge, Boom, 6.3 multiplier. And then we want Tempered Blade, which is a 4-pointer. So we'll need to add that up more later. So yeah, so I need to, you know, do a polarization on that for the critical damage, and then go rank that bitch up so I can do that there to make that better. Because I'll get 7 points here. That'll easily be able to do that. And then I can do Cutting Edge, and then get another 8 points, and then put something else down here. So simple. Right. Fun stuff, man. It's fun stuff. I have so much fun. But see, the thing of it is like, let me put the Iron Bride on an Arcwing, and I'd be happy. Because Arc Melees, I'm just like, why? I think the only cool factor, and this is really the truth, I think the only cool factor to Arc Melees is that they have a natural reach ability. Right? They have a natural reach ability, and that's that. The problem with that is that they're very jumpy, right? Like they're just stupid jumpy. Like the view is just bounce here, bounce here, bounce here, bounce here. So it's like, fuck me. Yeah. Very hard to keep track of where the fuck you're at. Because it just jumps you from one enemy to the next to the next. At least with this, you're on the fucking ground, you're doing your thing. Call it what you will. So, yeah, I mean, so like Arc Melees. The only one I still don't have is the Nux. I fucking hated it. Truthfully, I like the Centaur, or I like the Aguza or the Wrathbone. I think those are preferably my top 3 just for sheer damage purposes. I mean, we're talking the Wrathbone is 3,800 points of damage, but it's low crit, low stat. The Centaur is higher status, still low crit, but I mean, I could get better out of it if I fuck with it enough, but it's 3,000 points of damage, to where the Aguza is extremely low crit, low status. Like, this is typically why I run the Centaur, but I mean, I just don't like Arc Melees. I just really don't. Now, having the heavy weapon option, you get this by running Prophet Taker and getting, I think it's Gyromag systems, or it's Gyromag or Gravamag? Can't remember. Either way, it's one of the drops that you get from running the Tier 2 Prophet Taker bounty. So basically, you have to have an Orkan reactor on a weapon, or an Orkan catalyst on a weapon, and then you have to install this Gyro or Gravamag or whatever the fuck it is onto the arc weapon in order to put it in the heavy slot. So, like, no, I don't want to put a catalyst on it. Yeah, so like all these I can put on my Warframe. That looks so ridiculous. The Mosselin on Volt, on base Volt. He's leaning back like, bro, I can't hold on to this thing. What the fuck are you doing to me? Cortez doesn't look quite as insane. I mean, I just think it's funny. The Kuva Ayanga is honestly probably the one that looks mostly normal. But yeah, no, it's good times. It's good times. So if you dig K-Drive Life, just go. The best way to get your standings to get the mods that you want are going to be to go do K-Drive races. Or Valis is typically the easiest one, because Plains of Eidolon is very glitchy and there's nowhere that I know of to go do K-Drive races. And Cambion Drift, you can get Vent Kids standing through Cambion Drift through Grandmother, but the problem is that the Cambion Drift, the way the landscape is set up, it's very easy to fail races, to where Orb Valis is so much easier to do the races. So you can very quickly rank up, but honestly, aside from when the Nightwave pops up of killing 20 enemies while you're on a K-Drive, I have absolutely no use for K-Drive. I just don't. Unless they intend on extending it further into later missions, which God, I hope not after the Wave Rider quest. I just don't see it. I just don't. So, yeah, I think that's going to do it for, excuse me, the vehicles and arc weapons and arc melees, you know, and then the exalted style weapons for the Necramechs, right? So, folks, thanks very much for watching. As always, we'll catch you in the next one, all right?